Hello beautiful souls, it's me Deloche from Girl and Her Moon, and we are going to be looking at the tarot and how the Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse, which is on the axis of Gemini, going to affect all of the signs during this time. So we have the full moon on the Sagittarius Gemini axis, which is going to occur on June 5th this year, so within the next day or so. It is squaring Mars and Neptune, which makes it a possible time of fierce discussions about what is truth and what is not. Now, Mercury forms a square to Chiron, Chiron being the wounded healer, and Mercury being the communicator. So during this time, don't believe everything you hear, but don't believe everything that you think either, because it can be skewed. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It wants space all the time, so it's hard to pin Sagittarius down. And what they need is a good amount of space and freedom for them to feel like they're not being held back or boxed in or pushed around. And in regards to what's been happening globally with the quarantine and the virus and all that, having this Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse is going to be like a really, I want space. I want to just get out there and run. I just want my space. I want to move around. I don't want to be boxed in. I don't want to stay inside. I don't want to stay indoors. That's the kind of feeling a lot of people will be feeling during this time. So this feeling will be even stronger under the lunar eclipse, because lunar eclipses are highly emotional energy. And the more we feel boxed in, the more we want to just break those chains or break down those doors and run as far as we can. So being opposite the Venus retrograde, all we want to do is break out, break free, and push away those who want to keep us boxed in, and we have no idea where we want to go, but the energies are just saying, just go, just break out. The energies are pretty strong in terms of communication, as both Gemini and Sagittarius, they both rule communication. There will be a lot of people communicating their desire to leave, to break free, saying they want to release themselves from whatever that is that they feel restricted by, insisting that they've had enough and they just want to just turn around and go, or not deal with it. Give me the space. Let me be. So, now that doesn't really mean that they'll, we will actually go through with just leaving. If say a partner has really been pressing on our nerves or kind of like making us feel boxed in, it doesn't mean that we're going to just slam the door and leave the house. No, it doesn't mean that, but that's the kind of feeling that you will get. Maybe some people may, because they've been going through it for a long time, and this would be like the last straw. So usually sometimes these energies, the emotions are, like enticed with these energies where things are just all talk and no walk, basically. But it can add to, our anxiety and increase miscommunications in a way. And there would be fights, or quarrels, which really isn't a really good thing. So if you're feeling fed up and ready to run, out into you don't even know where. I would say don't speak with hurtful words where you may regret it later. If you just need to vent it, do it in a healthy way, like not directing it towards someone, maybe like journaling, writing yourself a letter, doing some painting, or any kind of expressive way that is healthy, with, you know, doing it by yourself in some way. So if this fed up and ready to go or run kind of feeling kind of like really gets to you, just understand that it is coming from the moon. And it will be so much stronger now that you would want to just blow. And it may be that you need some space. You need to maybe walk away short distance, not long distance, but, you know, like stay a little bit distant and kind of have your own space during this time. Like I said, if it's been a feeling that has lasted for a while, maybe it could be that a lot of people with that kind of situation may actually end up moving on. So I would say don't run, but, you know, gently just walk. Otherwise it may actually end up being something that you do regret later on. Okay. So we have a layout for the signs, and as always we will be starting with Aries. So it's a 6-card spread that we have, and just tuning into the energies. Breathing in. Okay. So asking the higher energies from the higher realms to help reveal the cards that we need to see. Aries. Okay, so Aries, what I'm getting is these 2 cards. Okay, so this is the 5 of Wands, which represents the spirit side of the human being. Okay, and we also have the 10 of Cups, which represents the emotional and feeling side of the human being. Okay, the 5 here, just letting one down. Start with this one. So the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands is the spirit side. It's all about creation. It's all about willpower, inspiration, desire, aspirations, passions, things like that. It's a fire element card. So the 5 is saying you need to avoid conflict. Avoid conflict by respecting others' differences if you want to feel the happiness. Okay, and I do see that this will be something included in your philosophy of life in some way as well during this time. This is something that you're learning through. It's like a higher learning, higher information coming through to you. It's like it's becoming the philosophy of your life in some way. You are learning to avoid conflict and respect others' differences in order to gain a mutual respect where there is happiness and inner fulfillment. Okay, so what impulses need taming? That's the first question. What impulses need taming? Conflict. Okay, the impulse to compete with others, or have conflict with others, or quarreling with others, fighting with others. So that impulse needs taming, but when you do tame it, you will realize through higher learning that this is the best way. Avoiding conflict and respecting others' differences to gain inner fulfillment and mutual happiness. Okay, that's the feeling card, and it's the 10 of cups or hearts. Okay, 10 is like the most highest number in the suit cards. So it means ultimate, the ultimate happiness, ultimate inner fulfillment. So where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Look at your hurts. Okay, what has been disappointing you lately? Okay, have you felt loss, grief, or disappointment? Have you felt like you want to move forward? Have you been feeling sad because you haven't been able to find peace in some way? This is saying that how you can best direct this raw energy is to go within and look at what is the main cause that's in you. It is all coming down to some sort of disappointment. The cups representing the emotions and feelings of the human being. It represents some sort of emotional situation that it all boils down to. Okay, you have to accept what has happened, and you have to be able to move on from it. Okay, so that's the best direction to direct this raw energy. Okay, do not just focus on your disappointments, your hurts, your losses. Focus on it and accept what has happened, because you can't do anything about it anymore. And the best way is to move away from it, resolve it, say thank you for being in my vibration. Now it is time to release you, and I want to move forward. Okay. The third card we have is how to direct aggression, because this moon, this eclipse, can entice some sort of aggression. And what we have is the Chariot card. And the Chariot card is saying you need to align your energies. You need to align your energies. This is like getting a wheel alignment for your car. Because if you don't have a wheel alignment, you can lose control of the car. Okay, the Chariot is like a vehicle. It's like a car, but it does represent your energies. So how to direct your aggression, align yourself, control yourself, pull yourself together. Okay, so self-control, discipline, aligning the energies, collecting yourself, bringing yourself together. The next card we have is the Temperance card. And it's saying how to add joy and positivity into your life. Now, the Temperance card is very similar to this one, but this is like more about aligning, wheel alignment, more about aligning the energies. And when we look at this, it says, be patient, okay? Learn to be patient. Try to find the middle path. Find a meaning to why certain things have happened and try to see the positive side of things. And bring balance and alignment into your life where you will be able to feel joy of life. Feel the joy of life, okay? So be one with life, in other words, okay? This does say that, you know, especially with this one, it does say that maybe there is some feeling for travel or maybe higher learning, because the angel represents, you know, like higher learning, information coming from the higher realms. Okay, so the next card is what personal beliefs need to be worked on. And we have the Strength card. The Strength card represents something relating to your inner strength. Okay, this could be personal beliefs relating to your inner strength, your courage, or compassion. If you're doubting yourself in some way, if you are proud about something, there's pride there, or if you're feeling weak in some way, you don't have enough courage, just know that you probably have a lot of compassion and inner strength that you haven't even realized. So if your personal beliefs are leaning towards courage, inner strength, and compassion, know that your personal beliefs are on the right track. And if they're not, if they're leaning towards being proud and weakness, you know, like lack of courage, or feeling doubt about yourself in any way, then you need to do some work on that. Okay, so that's what that is saying. Now, what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? And what we get is the Three of Cups. Now, cups represent the emotional side of the human being, and the Three of Cups represent friendship, community, and happiness. So if something on the spiritual aspect is helping you to gain like a spiritual family where there's togetherness, like a spiritual community that shares a lot of spiritual or philosophical beliefs, and you learn from each other, then you're on the right track. But if you're not, if you are involved with, you know, people that don't do anything else but gossip and do, like, you know, very shallow things, maybe they're overindulging with drink or food, or you feel isolated from a group, then you have to kind of have a look at your spiritual beliefs and see if you're on the right track or not. Okay, but if you are with a group, like a community that involves some sort of spiritual or philosophical type of involvement where you're learning from each other, and this is giving you happiness, and you're gaining more friendships, it just means that you're on the right track. Okay, so Aries, that is for you for the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. And during this time, if you feel like you want to cry, you can, because it's going to be a very emotional time for a lot of people. And if you feel like you want to, it's absolutely okay to do so. Okay, so we have Taurus next, and let's see what comes through for Taurus. Oh, that was a quickie. That was a quick one. Okay, 6 cards from the higher realms for Taurus. So we've got our 6 cards. Okay, so the very first card we have is the Emperor card. And the Emperor card says, what impulses need taming during this lunar eclipse? It could be relating to anger, trying to dominate others, your ambition, okay? Your ambition, being authoritative over others, anger, being a tyrant, being over-dominating. All of those impulses need taming. You need to realize if you are going through those feelings, don't. Okay, so that's what's coming through. The next card we have is where and how can you best direct this raw energy? And we have the Fool card. The Fool card represents towards new beginnings, starting something new, okay? And without taking advantage of others or even being naive in a sense, okay? And without being reckless, of course. So new beginnings, wondering about new things. You know, when you have this wonder, you do some research, so things like that. And the next card we have represents how to direct aggression. Okay, we have this card, which is the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands represents, you know, conflicts, competition, quarrels, fights, etc. So this is saying how to direct this aggression. This is the card of aggression in some way. So how can you direct this aggression? By respecting others' differences and not competing with them or not being on the other side. Okay, so basically you need to stay away from conflict, avoid conflict, and respect others' differences. That's the only way you can direct aggression in some way. Okay, just understand that everyone has their own perspective about something, and you have to respect that. Okay, so the next card we have is how to add joy and positivity into your life. And look at this. What are you worried about? Anxieties, trauma, sleepless nights, insomnia, tears on the pillow. What's happening to you, Taurus? Okay, so how to add joy and positivity into your life. If you're feeling stuck somewhere, if you're feeling like you have no hope left, reach out for help, okay? Reach out for help and don't lose hope, okay? Reach out for help, don't lose hope. Learn to release your fears and anxieties, okay? That way you'll be able to add joy and positivity into your life. If situations relating to your meeting your needs or joint resources have been a source of anxiety for you, maybe talk it over after the eclipse. Don't do anything during the eclipse. Wait for about a week and then talk about it. Okay, so the next card we have is what personal beliefs need to be worked on. And we have this one, the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is generally known as a character that is very hardworking and knows their responsibilities. Okay, so what personal beliefs need to be worked on? If you're being obsessive about your responsibilities, about work, about money issues, these beliefs need to be worked out. They need to be realized that you can't solve those issues by obsessing over them. Okay, so you need to have a look at what is efficient at the moment. Okay, efficiency is required. So what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? And we have this, which is the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords says that in regards to your spiritual beliefs, you have been looking at things possibly only at the mental level. The swords represents the mind of the human being, the processes of the mind and the expressions of the mind, everything logic. Okay, the heart is not included. So you've probably been looking at maybe mostly the scientific side of things. Now, if you've been trying to look at spiritual aspects and trying to connect it with something that has hard evidence, well, that's a little bit of a hard thing, because we know that there's, for instance, we know that there's electricity, but we can't really see it, can we? Or things like that, you know, energy, we can't see it, but it's there. Atoms, we can't see them, but they're there. Even the cells in your body, you can't really see them with your eyes, can you? You need a microscope. So you can't always link things to logic or scientific background. You have to kind of look at spiritual things with the heart as well. You need to connect mind, heart. Okay, the heart is known as the soul. So you need a complete thing, mind, body, and soul. Okay, you need to connect with your soul. Go within. Okay, so that is what you need to work on, Taurus, and enjoy the full moon in Sagittarius and lunar eclipse. If you have to cry during this time, because it's going to be a very emotional time, you can do so, because your tears are like purification. Okay, they're like purification. It's a way of purging as well. So do not be ashamed. You can do so. Okay. Gemini, let's have a look and see what we have for you. So 6 cards for this Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. So 6 cards from the higher realms is all we require. Okay, so Gemini, the first card we have is the Devil card, and this is what impulses you need taming. Okay, so if you've got any bad habits, there could be anything. any bad habits that you have to work on. The Devil card. If you're being overly materialistic, if you have an addiction to the extremes of being too healthy or lack of health, or you have some sort of addiction, or you're a workaholic, whatever it may be. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to tame that. You need to strike a balance, do things in moderation. So if you have been feeling the desire for freedom, that will also be like an energy that is heightened during this time because of the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. You need to restore and control your urges, okay, your impulses. Okay, so the next card represents where and how can you best direct this raw energy. And what we have is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, or Pentacles in general, are earth element cards. It represents gold, which comes from the earth, and everything relating to the earth, the three-dimensional plane, such as time to earn money, money earned to be able to buy our groceries to feed our physical body, money for security, money for warmth, comfort. So it represents physical body, finances, security. It could even, and time, and it could even represent our DNA that is something that we inherit from, from our ancestors. So if you've got a certain constitution, physical constitution, it's probably coming through your DNA, okay? And that's what it represents. It represents the earth in general, in the three-dimensional plane, okay? So with the Queen of Pentacles, what we get here is where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Doing a lot of practical things, okay? Doing maybe like eating more healthy, because you're in nature, right? A lot of like fruit and vegetables and so on. Eating more healthy, doing more physical workout, looking at your savings and being resourceful, okay? Not overspending, and being resourceful, because the Pentacles cards, they're really hard-working type energies, and they're resourceful, they're practical, and they like to do a lot of hands-on things. So it could be like hands-on with any kind of arts and crafts or hobbies, or it could be relating to, doing work with the earth, like the soil, okay? So where and how can you best direct this raw energy? By getting involved with those kind of things, okay? Getting involved with the physical aspects. Okay, so how to direct your aggression? We have the Fool card. The Fool card is the embryo of the tarot deck, and it's all about new beginnings. But with new beginnings, imagine this is a newborn baby. They're quite naive. They can be taken advantage of. They're just innocent. And if you're starting something really new that you have no background on, you can end up being reckless, for instance. So how can you direct your aggression? By looking at different ways that are new, okay? And also, besides that, just enjoying life in general, feeling free, feeling like innocent child, okay? Feeling free, frolicking under the sun, enjoying the hills, smelling the roses, just taking some time off and doing something that is totally new and different. but getting in touch with nature as well at the same time. But when you're doing that, do not end up falling over the cliff. In other words, do not be reckless with what you do. Okay, so do not direct your aggression in a reckless way. Pour it towards new things where you feel the joy for life and freedom. Okay. Okay, so the next card we have is how to add joy and positivity into your life. So, how to add joy and positivity into your life. We have the 8 of Cups, and the Cups, the emotional and feeling side of the human being, represents moving away from anything that holds you back emotionally. Okay, moving away from it, just releasing it, letting go, moving on, moving forwards. And if you've had problems with your relationships, partnerships, or marriage, move away from those emotional things that keep lingering in your system. It doesn't mean you're going to move away from the relationship. It means you are going to learn to move away from these emotional situations that have a grasp on you. Okay? So by doing that, you will feel more joy, more positivity, and you'll just enjoy your life, basically. Okay? All of these emotional things are holding you back. Release them. So what personal beliefs need to be worked on? And what I have is the 4 of Swords. Your personal beliefs relating to the 4 of Swords could be like you want to break from something, okay? Do you want to break from or a rest from something? Do you feel burnt out? Your personal belief is that it's time to contemplate, okay? And you feel, kind of like, maybe if I meditate, I may be able to regain some information. If I rest and recuperate, if I contemplate. So your personal beliefs is that having enough time to rest is very important, especially the mind, okay? So you need to work on more rest time, okay? You need to rest yourself. You need to rest yourself. More rest is needed. Okay, so what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? And we have this one. Okay, you need to with this Knight of Wands, fire sign. So it is saying that you need to maybe take action in some sort of adventure, okay? Maybe you need to just impulsively go into some sort of adventure where you can regain some sort of, or gain some sort of spiritual insight, okay, or spiritual beliefs. But you need that adventure, or maybe certain spiritual beliefs need to feel adventurous for you. That's another thing. Okay, so if you are feeling like everything in that aspect has to be an adventure, maybe that's something that you need to work on. Maybe it doesn't have to be that way, okay? It has to pique your adventurous side. That's what it feels like to me. Okay, so that is your tarot for the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse, Gemini. It is a very emotional time, so if you feel like you want to cry, you can do so, because that's another way of purging and releasing, and it's actually purification. So if you feel really emotional and you want to cry, don't be ashamed, just do it. Okay, so Cancer, let's see what's coming through for you. So 6 cards requested from the higher realms. Cancer. 6 cards for Cancer. Okay, so let's have a look at the first card. And the first card we have is the 3 of Cups. Now, the 3 of Cups says what impulses need taming during this time. And it represents 3 women celebrating or dancing or drinking, whatever. So what impulses need taming during this time for you? Maybe overindulgence, over drinking, overeating, maybe some gossiping. So overindulgence in general, okay? You need to also make sure of your social distancing as well during this time. So what impulses need taming? Overindulgence with food, drinks, and possible gossiping. Okay, so that is seen through that card. So where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Distancing yourself. Okay, so the Sword card, the King of Swords, he's only he's only working at the mental level. The King of Swords. Swords represent the mentality, the mind, the processes of the mind, the expressions of the mind of the human being. Whereas the Cups represent the emotions. They're like hearts. The Cups are like hearts. So the emotional side of the human being. So if you feel a little bit emotional during this time, you may end up having extra wine or something, drinking too much, maybe saying something about someone that you will regret later, like gossiping, maybe eating a lot, comfort food, you know. So watch your health during this time. It's very important. And your responsibilities. Responsibilities related to work and your chores at home, etc., as well as your health is very important. So do not overindulge with extra food or drinks. And how to direct that energy. So where and how can you best direct that raw energy? By looking at the situation at a logical level and kind of like distancing yourself. Because the King of Swords is like someone who sits in the background and just watches everybody, excuse me, watches everybody and analyzes. They're kind of like distant and aloof. So it's saying distance yourself from the situation and look at things at more of a logical level. Do not get emotionally involved. Okay, so the third card is how to direct your aggression. You can direct your aggression into hard work and your responsibilities. So if you've got certain responsibilities that you need to take, especially relating to your work environment and chores at home, direct your aggression towards them and work hard. They say that if you sweep, it gets rid of anxiety. I don't know how that works, but probably, you know, who knows. So yeah, hard work directed towards work and duties, okay, and your physical body. You may need to work out your physical body as well. Okay, so the next card is how to add joy and positivity into your life. And we have this card, which is a 7 of Pentacles or coins. It's an earth element card. It relates to our reality in every sense. starting from our ancestors to our money, to our physical body, to our time, to putting in hard work, everything. Okay, so the Seven of Pentacles represent again hard work, preserving, and distracting yourself from the energies of the moon. Okay, trying to distract yourself from the energies of the moon by just putting more hard work, or more, you know, putting more effort into work, or whatever you're doing, and getting more involved in that, and you will feel more joy and more positive. Okay, you just need to put more effort into just doing stuff during that time. Otherwise, you're going to feel emotional. You may end up drinking a lot, and then maybe say something about someone that you will probably regret later. Okay, so what personal beliefs need to be worked on during this time? Fears. Okay, we've got the Tower card. This is your personal beliefs. The Tower card represents fear of suffering. If you have a fear of suffering, or fear of disaster, fear of upheaval, situation like that, you need to work on that. Okay, so that's something you need to work on. You may end up realizing that it is not as bad as you think it is. Okay, so that's something you need to work on. Okay, so what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on during this time? And we've got two cards. Spiritual beliefs you feel are based on your emotional grief, loss, or disappointments. If they suffice and kind of like smother, and, you know, like not smother, but kind of like sugarcoat things for you where you don't feel the pain, it is something that you feel is most suited to you, and that is what you will take up as a spiritual path. And what will happen is that it will be out of alignment for you. It won't work out. So what you need to do is you have to look at your spiritual beliefs and see whether you have chosen them because they kind of like in a way help you with certain hurts, or, you know, trauma, or, you know, emotional hurts, losses. If you've lost someone, if you've been rejected, if you've felt those emotions of loss and disappointment and grief and sorrow, okay, if you've felt those emotions and you've taken up a spiritual belief because it kind of makes it feel better, you're not on the right track. That's what that is saying. You're not on the right track. You have to align the energies. You're out of alignment with that. Okay, so the Chariot is saying that you need to find a direction that is really going to help your soul growth and evolution. Okay, and for that you need alignment, bringing yourself together, self-control, and discipline. Okay, so just because it's making something negative feel better, making a wound feel better, it doesn't mean that it is going to be the right path for you. Okay, that's what it's saying. So that's for you, Cancer. I hope that has kind of like helped out, and enjoy the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. And if you feel like you need to cry, don't be ashamed to, because crying is like purging as well. It's like purification. So don't be ashamed. Cry your heart out if you want to. It's okay. Okay, so that's it for you. Next we have is Leo. Leo. Okay, let's see what the higher realms have for Leo. 6 cards. Okay, so for Leo, the first card we have is the 2 of Pentacles. Pentacles are earth element cards. They represent our 3D reality. So it represents our time and effort that we spend to earn money. The money that we use, the finances that we use to nourish our physical body, and maybe something in our DNA that we inherited from our ancestors. You know, everything in our physical life, basically. Okay, so it is an earth element card, and this card is saying what impulses need taming. If you're in a situation where you have to make a choice about something, you would probably make the right choice, because I must admit, Leo, this is probably one of your, probably a really good time for you. Even though it's an emotional time for a lot of people, you will probably be feeling like you want to have fun, there's romance, maybe there's going to be like new options coming your way. So what impulses need taming? If you are single and you're out dating, or you're seeing someone and someone else is presenting themselves to you, don't play double timing, okay? Make a choice. Don't try to juggle them both at the same time. So don't be impulsive in that sense, okay? So tame that, and it's all about, looking at your priorities. Look at your priorities and adapt yourself to the situation as best as you can. Okay, so the next card we have here is the 7 of Wands. And the Wands are fire element card. They're like the backbone of the human body. They represent the spiritual side, or the spirit of the human being. So imagine a backbone, and there's like the chakras on the backbone. Okay, it all represents creativity, your desires, will, passions, aspirations, things like that. So where and how can you best direct this raw energy? And this is saying that you can do that by just being, containing your individuality. Okay, containing your individuality, preserving on what you have made your mind up on. Okay, so if you were given a choice about something, preserve, and you've made a choice, stay on that track. That's what that is saying. Okay, so don't give up, and do not be defensive, and do not try to control others. That's another thing as well that's coming through with this. Okay, do not be defensive, and do not control others. So the third card is how to direct aggression. Direct your aggression towards fun, freedom, and enjoyment. The Fool card, without being reckless. Okay, don't be reckless with it. Just have fun, enjoy life, be creative, feel like a child, have maybe moments with children, where, you know, if you got your own children, do creative things with them, projects, whatever. Get in touch with the child within and do something childish, like, I don't know, play with your Barbie dolls or something. Do something childish, but don't be reckless. Not to the point where you end up being a fool, okay? So that's how you can direct your aggression into fun and enjoyment. So how to add joy and positivity into your life? By opening your heart. Open your heart to new love. Open your heart to, when I say new love, I'm not saying like a lover. I'm saying love in general, love from higher realms. Okay, so spiritual love. Open yourself to love in general. Okay, do not close yourself up. So that is how you can add joy and positivity into your life. The more you feel that love, the more you expand your heart chakra, the more you will feel love and joy and positivity. So what personal beliefs need to be worked on? We're looking at the Four of Pentacles, okay? Like Pentacles, the Earth sign cards. This is a 4 as well. This is a Cups card. Cups card represent the emotions and feelings and the heart of the human being. This is the earth element again, and it represents being stingy, holding back. They're very similar. Holding back at the emotional level, holding back at the material level. Okay, so material level can mean physically holding yourself back from, no sex, or holding yourself back from giving, being charitable, holding yourself back from helping others, so doing service to others. Okay, so your personal beliefs in regards to, I need to hold back to be able to save or to be able to have security, does not work. You need to kind of let it loose a bit. You know, you need a flow of giving and receiving. So to be able to do that, you need to kind of loosen that up a bit. That's your spirit. That's your personal beliefs that need working on. So what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? And we have the Tower card. The Tower card here represents some sort of foundational shift or upheaval. Okay, so if you have a spiritual belief that has been very calm and dormant, no growth, no evolution, no expansion, because everything needs to grow and expand. Nothing can stay still. Okay, so if you have been on that kind of track, you're in for a surprise soon, awakening, where something is going to shock you and kind of like shift the foundations. Okay, so spiritual beliefs that you had may be kind of like, there could be an earthquake in that area, which will make you realize some certain things about yourself and your beliefs. Okay, Leo, so that is for the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. And it is a very emotional time. If you feel like you need to cry, don't be ashamed, do so. I mean, I don't think you will, because you're probably the most happiest one during this time, having fun and all. But if you do feel emotional and you feel like crying, do so, because it's purification. It's another way of purging with the full moon. Okay? All right. Next we have Virgo. And let's see what's coming through for Virgo. So from cards from the higher realms. 6 cards, that's what we need. now I really have to show you this. The very first card and the very last card. Look at the cards. They look so similar, don't they? So that's the very first card and that's the last card. So we'll start with the first card, which is the Death card. And this is saying what impulses need taming, and the Death card represents ending of a cycle and new beginnings or some sort of transformation. Okay, so what impulses need taming? Well, if you feel like you want to just transform yourself suddenly, you need to tame it. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay, so if there is some sort of transformation happening in the process, the growing pains of that you will need to tame. Okay, so that's what's coming through in regards to that question. The second question we have is, where and how can you best direct this raw energy? And what we have is the Wands card here, the Eight of Wands. The Wands, just like this one, wand, it's not a number one, it is the Wands. A lot of people confuse them with the number one. When I say number one, they think I'm talking about one as in the number, but it's actually the wands as in this. Okay, so they're like wands. Okay, and the wands are fire element cards, and they represent the spirit side of the body, the human being. Imagine that is like your backbone, and you've got your chakras alongside that backbone. Okay, so it's the spirit side. That's where all the energy flows through. So, and that's where all your desires, your willpower, your passions, your aspirations, creativity, and all that is coming through. Okay, so through the spirit side. Okay, through your soul, basically. So, where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Well, and that was relating to the transformation. Okay, where and how can you direct this raw energy? Well, through maybe, doing things quickly, putting more action into your life, putting more action, making quick decisions about certain things, not panicking. Maybe sometimes you need to slow down and wait. But also it's related to movement, it's related to communication. Okay, this can relate to like journeys, but this could be relating to journeys of the mind. But in general, this is saying everything's up in the air. All these arrows are flying up in the air, or the wands are flying up in the air. Everything's still up in the air. It hasn't fallen to the ground and settled. So what it's saying is that your energies are scattered. You need to bring it down and ground it. Okay, so where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Towards the ground. Ground yourself. But if you need to make quick decisions or quick movements or rapid action about something, do so. Do not panic. If you're panicking, maybe slow down when you need to. Maybe wait sometimes, okay? Be patient, okay? But most of all, ground your energies, ground them. They're kind of like all over the place. And it can relate to the home in some ways. Something's happening around the home that's making you feel like you're all over the place, okay? Maybe a family member or the home itself. Okay, whoops. All right, so the third card is how to direct your aggression. Okay, how can you direct your aggression? We have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups represent the sensitive side of you. Okay, so the emotional side. If you are feeling aggressive and emotional, you can kind of like act immaturely or act in a way where it is coming across as being immature, where you feel maybe insecurity or disappointment about something. So direct your aggression towards look at the innocence of everyone. When you see other people, look at them and see the child within. That way you will know how to direct your aggression. So do not be immature with your emotions. Do not act in an emotional way, in other words. Okay, so direct your aggression through being emotionally intelligent. Okay? Okay. So, the next card we have represents how to add joy and positivity into your life, and we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands here is saying look at things that you have succeeded in and kind of focus on those and feel the joy and happiness, and you'll feel positive. Don't forget that you can succeed in what you are trying to achieve. So if it's something like, related to home or whatever, and it's kind of really frustrating you, don't forget you can succeed. You are able to do this, okay? Focus on that. That's what that is saying. The next card is what personal beliefs need to be worked on. If you're a type of person that strongly defends their beliefs, maybe you have to change your approach relating to your personal beliefs. Okay, so maybe it's time to change your approach relating to your personal beliefs. You can come across as being overbearing and like attacking when it comes to your personal beliefs. So change your approach. The next card represents what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on. And what I have is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is saying that any kind of spiritual belief that leads you towards the heart, following the heart, that is the true path. Okay, so work on your spiritual beliefs. If they are all leading towards love, it means you're on the right track. If they're not, maybe there's something wrong there. So you need to kind of do some work in that aspect. Okay, so that's for you, Virgo. Hope you enjoy the full moon in Sagittarius and lunar eclipse. If you need to cry during this time, it is a very emotional time. It is a kind of purification or purging. So if you feel like crying, just do so. Don't be ashamed. Okay. So next we have Libra. Let's see what the higher realms will show us for Libra. So 6 cards. We need 6 cards. So the first card we have is the Eight of Coins. Coins are earth element cards, and they represent our three-dimensional world. It represents everything that is physical, everything that needs to sustain the physical, such as work, time that we put into work, the physical body that we have to keep healthy to put into work, our physical body, our DNA, what we get from our ancestors in our genetics, in our DNA, etc., etc. Okay, so our security, our wealth, our work, day job, everything relating to our three-dimensional world is related to the Pentacles cards. So what impulses need taming during this time? If you are prone to overwork, or you're like really interested in learning something or learning to communicate maybe something, don't overdo it. Okay, this is something that is impulsive that's coming through. Anything relating to communication or learning can be impulsive during this time. So what you need to do is kind of like tame that and take it one step at a time. Do it in the most positive way possible if it's relating to communicating your thoughts towards others. Okay. So the next card we have is where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Being patient, waiting around, you know, maybe just hang around and don't do anything for a while. Meditate, or try to see things from a different perspective. Okay, so maybe learning new things, getting enlightenment by looking at things from a different perspective, and that way your communication style will also be much better. Okay, but the main thing about this card is being patient. Stalling, being patient, just waiting, not acting. Okay, so how can you direct your aggression? If you feel aggressive during this time, put it into some sort of new idea or new project. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. Wands such as the wand like this one, not the number one. Wands are fire element cards, and they represent the spirit side of the human being. It's like the backbone or the spine, and we have like the chakras along this spine, and all the energy and information actually goes up and down this spine, whether it's energetic body, whether, you know, the energy body or the physical body, it's going up and down the spine. So all your desires, aspirations, your passions, your creativity, all of that is coming through with the wand cards. And this is saying, well, you know, how can you direct your aggression? If you aggressively want to do something that is new, a new idea, do it. But if you've got an aggression towards someone, put it into some sort of new creative venture. Okay, put that towards that. Okay, this could end up being like a passion growing towards a new venture, some sort of learning coming through. Okay, so the next card we have is how to add joy and positivity into your life. And we have this card, by having social distancing. Okay, this is the card of having healthy boundaries. Okay, if you need space from the people around you, ask them that you need space. Okay, if you need distancing, make sure you get the distancing. That way you will feel much more happy and positive. If someone oversteps the line, you may get cranky and aggressive. So, okay, so the next card we have is what personal beliefs need to be worked on. personal beliefs in relation to the journey of your life. You are the driver of your life. The chariot is your vehicle and your journey at the same time. You are the driver. You're the creator of your life, basically, of the journey. And what we have is like these two horses or sphinx or whatever you want to call them. They're going in different directions. Basically, what you need is a wheel alignment on your chariot, because they're going in separate directions. If they go full speed ahead in separate directions, they'll just split the energies in half. Splitting the energies in half on your life's journey can leave you really scattered, without direction, lack of direction. So you need discipline. Okay, so what personal beliefs need to be worked on? Anything that feels out of balance needs to come back into balance. Anything that is out of focus needs to be brought back into focus. Okay, that's what you need. Okay, so what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? This one was personal beliefs. This is spiritual beliefs. What spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? Connecting with your intuition, your ability to connect to your inner voice, to the divine truth. Okay, learning to connect to your intuitive side. So that's for you, Libra. I hope you enjoy the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse energies. It is an emotional time, so if you feel like crying, you can do so. It is a kind of purging. Crying is. It's kind of like a purification in a way. Yeah, so don't be ashamed. Do it if you feel like you need to. Okay? Alright, so next we have Scorpio. Let's see what comes through for Scorpio. So 6 cards from the higher realms. 6 cards from the higher realms. Okay, so the very first card we have is the 6 of Cups. Cups are like hearts, and they represent the emotional and feeling side of the human being. So what impulses need taming? Reflecting back, looking at memories. Okay, so if you feel a little bit emotional by looking at some past memories, and you're looking at how you're feeling where you are, how things used to be, okay, your material values, your security, how things used to be, all of that, reflecting into the past. You need to realize that that was in the past, okay? You need to move on from that. That was in the past. Okay, so that is the type of impulse that needs taming. So don't go all the way back and just long for things the way they used to be, okay? So where and how can you best direct this raw energy? And what we have is the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups represents an energy that has a lot of compassion, okay? So feel the compassion and the calm, and direct this raw energy towards your compassion, towards your sensitivities, towards your healing side, okay? And use that, maybe meditating. She has her heart out, so maybe meditating with her big heart, compassionate, being compassionate and sending that energy to the world. okay, during this time. You may feel like, you know, really feeling really compassionate during this time. Okay, so the next card we have is how to direct your aggression. Your aggression could come across as being quite strong during this time. So what you need to do is you need to tame that by using your strength, inner strength, that is compassion again. Okay, compassion. Flow that energy into compassion. Use that inner strength towards compassion. Lots of compassion coming through for you. Okay, so how to add joy and positivity into your life. If there are like little ones around you, you know, spending time with them maybe helps you to gain joy and positivity in life. Their energy is like, you know, really young, and it makes you feel young again in some way, okay? But this is also saying, you know, getting in touch with the child within and maybe doing some sort of creative, imaginative things during this time where you will feel the emotions pouring into your creativity, okay? Okay, so the next card we have is what personal beliefs need to be worked on during this time. We have this card which is saying follow your heart. Okay, follow your heart. But sometimes if it's idealistic, if you have certain personal beliefs that are too idealistic, you need to kind of find a balance. But this is just saying follow your heart where compassion is also involved. Okay. The next card we have is what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on. So spiritual beliefs. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you see the light. Whatever brightens your life. Okay. So if you find something is eclipsing that light, you need to work through it. Sift it. Okay. Sift through it in some way. So that's what you need to do, Scorpio. Okay, so enjoy the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse energies. If you feel like you need to cry, please do so. Do not be ashamed, because it is kind of like a purging and purification of some sort. So yeah, don't be ashamed. If you feel like you need to, by all means do it. Okay, Sagittarius. So this is your moon, Sagittarius. Let's see what the higher realms have for you. What are they going to show us? Oh, that's not a very good card to start with. So what are the higher realms showing you for Sagittarius? So what we have is the first card, which involves what impulses need taming, and what I have is heartbreak, suffering, grief, anything like that. So if you feel these emotions are like surfacing during this time, you need to tame them or you need to work through them. And believe me, they're not coming through at the emotional level. They're coming through the mental level. So it's certain things that you have like pushed into the back of your mind and they're resurfacing. They're not related to your emotions at all anymore. It's like something that's lingering in your mind, okay? It's something that you have to do some sort of work relating to the mind at the mental level, because the swords cards represent the mentality, the processes of the mind and the expressions of the mind in the human being. Okay, so where and how can you best direct this raw energy? We have the Three of Wands. Wands are the spirit side of the human being. Each wand here represents fire energy, fire element. And the wands are like your spine, where you've got your chakras, where, you know, in your energy body, you've got the energy pouring up and down. In your physical body, you've got, you know, impulses from your nerves flowing up and down. So it's like the spirit side of the body. And where and how can you best direct this raw energy? By looking ahead, okay? By looking ahead and believing that there will be expansion and rapid growth after these obstacles and delays of, you know, even though they may be frustrating, they will be gone soon, okay? So there will be expansion and rapid growth. So look ahead, look to the future, okay? And that's how you can best direct this raw energy, okay? Just by looking ahead. Now, this 3 is going to turn into this 3, okay? So that energy will transform into this energy, which is more creative and productive, okay? That's like leading towards maybe depression. Okay, so how can you direct your aggression? And what we have is the Cups card. Okay, so the 5 of Cups represents some sort of loss or grief. Again, it's coming through like this card, okay? But this is at the emotional level. We've got the Cups here, okay? So you can see like 1, 2, 3 cups gone. But you've got 2 also there waiting for you. So there's a possibility of recovering and, you know, healing, etc. So how to direct this aggression? By accepting what has happened and moving on where you can find peace, okay? Find peace within your heart. So how to add joy and positivity into your life? We have a earth element card here. The coins represent earth, and they represent everything, like the physical side of the human being, everything in the 3-dimensional world that relates to the physical side, from time to money to finances to the physical body to the food we eat to the efforts we put in to our DNA that we inherit from our ancestors, to inheritance and legacies and things like that. So everything in our physical life. And the 7 of Pentacles here represents how to add joy and positivity into your life. And it's saying by putting in hard work and preserving on what you want to achieve, not giving up, okay? And without getting distracted from your goals, basically, okay? So having more of that, that's going to give you more joy and positivity in life. The next card is what personal beliefs need to be worked on. Maybe there's an imbalance of giving and receiving. Okay, so this is like giving and receiving of money, service, time, companionship, friendship, what else? Gifts, giving and receiving of anything. Okay, so if you're open to giving but you're not open to receiving, or if you're open to receiving and you're not open to giving, that's where you're stingy, right? Well, there's an imbalance. So what personal beliefs need to be worked on? If it's not you and it's someone else that is not open to giving and receiving, maybe it's time to let them know, okay? Let them know that they need to be open. If it's you, you need to be more open to giving and receiving so that you have that flow, consistent flow of giving and receiving. So what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? And if we're looking at spiritual beliefs that come from your background, your culture, your family, you know, from your ancestors, whatever it may be, and it doesn't serve your purpose, maybe it's time to have a look at different avenues. Okay, so spiritual beliefs relating to, like, if you've inherited some sort of spiritual beliefs and they don't sound right to you, or they don't feel right, maybe do some more research on it. And if it still doesn't feel right, it's time to maybe move on to something else, or nothing. You know, it depends what you want, basically. Okay, so Sagittarius, that is for you. It's all about improving yourself during this time, because it is your moon. And hope you enjoy that, the moon's energies. And if you feel like crying, you can do so, because it is a kind of purification or purging. So don't be ashamed. Okay. All right. So next we have Capricorn. Let's see what comes through for Capricorn. So 6 cards from the higher realms for Capricorn. Oops. Okay. All right, so Capricorn, the first card we have is the 9 of Pentacles, or coins. These represent earth element, and they represent everything within our 3-dimensional world. So it can represent our physical body, our finances, money, our security, the food that we eat to sustain our body, the time that we put into to earn our finances, nature itself, the genetics that we get from our, inherit from our background, the DNA, etc. So all of that. So it represents everything in our physical world and being practical and things like that. Okay, so what impulses need taming during this full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius comes through with this card. And this is saying maybe spending some of those rewards that you have, okay? All that effort that you put through to gain what you've earned, maybe it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, okay? But without being reckless, okay? There is a possibility of not seeing things the way they are actually during this time for you. So if you feel like you've got a lot, maybe you may not. So don't be reckless with what you have. So double check and make sure, and kind of go forwards in that way. Okay, do not be impulsive with your spending. That's what it's saying. So where and how can you best direct this raw energy? Well, look at what you have. Look at your money. Look at what you have. Did you see like an opportunity for prosperity and made a bad investment? Or do you feel it may be a bad investment? Or it may actually be a good investment. Okay, so instead of spending your money on luxuries, why don't you put your money towards some sort of investment, okay? But double check everything, triple check everything during this time, because what you think as being true may not actually be true, okay? Your subconscious could play games with you during this time, and there may be actually things that you're not aware of. There could be certain things hidden from you or secrets. Do not sign anything. Do not start anything anything new where you think that it will be prosperous, that you'll be committing to. Okay. So the next card we have is how to direct your aggression. And we've got the Two of Wands. Wands as in wands like this, not the number one, okay? Two of Wands. The Wands are fire element cards, and they represent the spiritual side, or should I say the spirit side of the human being. The Wands are like the spine, where you have all your nerves going through there, where you get, messages through the nerves, or you've got your chakras in your energy body along the spine, where you're getting the energy flowing up and down. So with the Wands, the Two of Wands here is saying how to direct your aggression is maybe doing some sort of planning or making a decision, okay? So but doing good planning, okay? So without fearing change or being overly playing it safe. You need to play it safe, but do not do it to the extreme. Making a plan where you can make a decision, but make sure it's like 2 weeks after the full moon. 2 weeks after the full moon, okay? That way it's going to work out much better for you. Okay, so the fourth card we have here is how to add joy and positivity into your life, and we have the Lovers card, and the Lovers card represents love. So lots of love is going to help you to add joy and positivity into your life. Okay, lots of love. All right, Queen of Wands is the next card, and this is relating to your personal beliefs and your need to work on them. Okay, so again, this is a Wands card. So fire element, when we get the Queen of Wands, it represents, moving away from personal beliefs that relate to selfishness, insecurity, or jealousy, and move you towards courage, determination, joy, and passion. So look for those, okay? If you feel insecure, if you feel jealous, if you feel envious or selfish, it means you're on the wrong track. But if you're feeling courageous, if you're feeling determined and passionate and joyful, you're on the right track in regards to your personal beliefs. Now, what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on? And we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so the Knight of Wands represents any kind of spiritual belief that makes you feel like you're on an adventure, okay? And it helps you to release fears within yourself. So you feel more, you feel less fear and you feel more adventurous. Then you're on the right track with your spiritual beliefs. But if you're feeling anger and reckless, or you're feeling like you need to impose your beliefs on others fanatically, then you're on the wrong track. Okay, so that's what's coming through, okay, with that. So I hope that has kind of like given you an idea about what's happening. And if you feel like you need to cry during this time, it's okay to do so, because it's like a purging, it's like a purification. So enjoy the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse, Capricorn. Okay, so we've got Aquarius next. Aquarius, let's see what comes through for you. Oh, sadness. Oh, again, sadness. Aquarius, why are you so sad? Okay, so 6 cards. And the first card we have is what impulses need taming. If you've been feeling sad lately, if you've been feeling grief or disappointment, what you need to do is you need to find a way to make peace with all of that and accept what is and move on from it. Move on from that emotion. Okay, so the Cups card represents the heart or the emotional and feeling side of the human being. Okay, so make peace with what makes you feel sad. Okay, where and how can you best direct this raw energy? And we have the Three of Swords. Okay, the Three of Swords here is saying by recovering, by forgiving and moving on. Okay, forgiving and recovering by moving on. The swords represent the mental or the processes of the mind and the expressions of the mind, all these swords. So even though you see a heart here, it's got nothing to do with the emotional side. It's all about what's in the mind. So if you've incurred some sort of loss or hurt or separation or breakup or something like that, or grief, this is something that you experience on the emotional side then, but then it kind of got planted in your mind where you keep remembering it. And it feels like it's at the emotional level, but it's not. It's just in your head. Okay, so where and how can you best direct this raw energy? By recovering from it. Okay, recovering from it by forgiving and moving on with your life. Okay, the next card we have is the Page of Swords. Now, how to direct your aggression. The Page of Swords is swords is a childlike energy, and is a communicator. Okay, so it's all about talking. So if you hear certain things about other people talking about you or gossiping about you, or people saying things to you, communicating certain things to you that are not to your liking, it's just saying that you need to turn your head and move forward. Okay, it's like make peace with it and move on. Okay, so that's what that card is saying. Move forward. Okay, so it's like you may feel curious or restless, wanting to find out why the reason is, or why they're doing this, or what's happening, etc. A lot of mental energy there, but it's just all talk and nothing else. Okay, so just move on from it. Don't worry about what people say to you or the tone they talk to you in. Okay, so if you've been feeling a little bit sad about something lately, and someone has said something to you, just make peace with it and move forward. Don't even go back to it. Okay, don't even remark on it. Don't say anything. Just ignore it completely, because it's all talk and nothing else. Okay, The next card we have is the fourth card, and how to add joy and positivity into your life. And that is through determination, through courage, and as the card suggests, strength means courage, inner strength. Okay, so inner strength, courage, compassion, lots of compassion. Okay, so that's how you can add joy and positivity into your life. The next card represents what personal beliefs need to be worked on. And this represents some sort of balance that you need to bring into your life. Okay, so balance. You also have to look at whether your personal beliefs are too extreme or lacking something, lacking, a balance in some way. Are they lacking harmony? You need to find a meaning to the reason why you are attracted to those beliefs. Okay, so that's what's coming through. And the last card is what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on. Okay, maybe recently you have joined a group or something, or you're in a soul family where you're doing some sort of work with them. It shows with the Three of Pentacles that there is a lot of beautiful things that you can create together as long as you collaborate and work as a team. Or if you've joined a group where you're learning some sort of information or knowledge, that's also helping you out in some way towards your ideals. And maybe further down the track, it could be like the foundation to certain causes that you will put it towards. Okay, so that's what's coming through with those cards, Aquarius. So enjoy the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. And if you feel very emotional, you can by all means cry your heart out. It is a kind of purging and cleansing at the same time. So it's absolutely okay to do so. Okay, so next I have got Pisces. Let's see what the higher realms are going to show for Pisces. So 6 cards relating to Pisces. Ooh, Pisces looks like there's a lot happening in regards to career. Oops, drop those. Oh, God. Okay. Got 2 pages next to each other. Messages, news, 3 pages. Wow. Okay. So, 3 pages next to each other means sudden news relating to career or your stance within the community, some sort of news. Okay, so that's pretty good. Maybe news about money also coming through. So the very first card we have what impulses need taming. Impulses regarding family or money need taming. Okay, so if you get an impulsive way to act in regards to family or money, and it's going to be hurtful, don't do it. If you are doing anything impulsive relating to money or family, that is in a positive way, you can also do so, but if it is a negative thing, try to refrain yourself from it. Okay, so where and how can you best direct this new energy, this raw energy? And what we see is the Ace of Pentacles. So this shows that maybe there is some sort of opportunity where you can invest something, okay? Money, inheritance, maybe property or something like that. So you can invest this, okay? And that's how you can best direct this raw energy. Okay, if something is coming through family, say inheritance or money, you can invest this. It's going to have like future prospect and security. Okay, something like that is coming through. So how can you direct your aggression? Not by feeling sad. You need to let go of your emotions. Okay, so that relate to loss or grief or mourning, or if someone has passed over, you have to make peace with them and let them go. Okay, so the Cups card represent the emotional and feeling side of the human being. So if you feel that you are feeling sad of something leaving your life or someone leaving your life, you need to make peace with it. Okay, you need to make peace with it. That's where if you don't make peace with it, you can contain that aggression. You can contain that emotion, which will turn into aggression. Okay, so you need to release and let it go. So how to add joy and positivity into your life? Look at your sensitive side. Look at your imaginative side, your creative side. If there are children around you, look at them and feel the joy. You know, spend time with them. Feel the joy and positivity of life with them. But see the child within as well, to feel the joy and positivity. Feel the new beginnings of new ventures at the emotional level that you may start. Okay? Where you will feel joy and positivity. Okay? So what personal beliefs need to be worked on? Personal beliefs relating to your curiosity, your mental curiosity, as the swords represent the mental side, or the processes of the mind and the expressions of the mind. So if you're feeling curious about what people have said about you, where they've been all talking about, what are they talking about? Or if it was you that has been talking a lot, you know. So you have to kind of like work around your personal beliefs relating to a lot of chatter, gossip, and maybe your mind is constantly curious as what is the latest news. Okay, so you need to release those beliefs from yourself. It doesn't really matter who does what, or what's happened to who. Or if people are doing that to you, it's like, don't worry, just turn around and move forwards. Okay? The next card we have is what spiritual beliefs need to be worked on. And what we have is exploring. Okay, so if there's a lack of direction in regards to your spiritual beliefs, or you have been like slacking in them, or you feel there is some sort of conflicting situations in it, well, maybe it's time to explore and find something that gives you freedom. Find something that gives you excitement, where you feel excited and free. Okay, so that's what you need to work on in regards to your spiritual beliefs. Okay, so Pisces, that is your reading, and I hope you do enjoy the Sagittarius full moon and lunar eclipse. If you feel like you need to cry, which you probably will, just do it. Don't be ashamed, because it is like a purification. It's like a purging. It's like a ritual. So if you need to cry, by all means do so. Okay?